Hello everyone, I'm here with Petr Ingram. He's one of the people who, when I posted on Twitter that I'm looking for people to interview, he was one of the people who said that he would like to be in. Frankly, I would probably ask you eventually anyway, but since you asked, here we are. What's interesting about me and Petr is that not only that we share like a similar name, but we also wanna team limited GP together. Maybe you should be the one who say what actually happened there, because it's kind of a crazy story. So I would like to start right there if you can.
Yeah, so you were supposed to team with both of the Jessup brothers, right?
No.
Or was it Andrew and Brad?
No, actually, okay, you don't know the story. Actually, what happened was that there was a Team GP week before that GP. I played with Martin Juza and Andrew Beckstrom, and on Tuesday after the GP, Martin asked me, well, what is your team for the next one? I'm like, oh shit, it's a Team GP? And he just started laughing. So I posted on Twitter that I'm looking for a team, and we ended up playing together, and we won. So that's kind of crazy, I think.
Yeah, and but I remember us having separate teams going up until the weekend, but then things kind of falling apart, and then me, you, and Andrew ended up just teaming 2 days before or whatever.
I wasn't even sure how you guys looked like. I saw you on pictures at some point, I think, but I wasn't even sure. So I just showed up to the GP. I didn't really know how my teammates even looked like, and then we just crushed it. It was an insane event.
Yeah, it was really insane, just kicking that Josie Vest at the end of the tournament, just locking it up.
Yeah, it was crazy. So just for a little bit of an introduction, Petr has won Pro Tour Top 8, 3 GP Top 8s, 2 of them are teams, and I think you have only one win, right? With me, of course.
Yeah, I have the one W, of course, with Petr.
And 9 Star City Games Open Top 8s with 4 wins. That's really impressive. I don't know how hard the STG tour is, but even if it was easy, which I don't necessarily think it is, winning 4 of them is really impressive.
Yeah.
Would you say that they're hard? Can you maybe talk about the STG tour, because I never played in one of them, so I don't know if they're easier than GPs and stuff.
I think they're similar to I think definitely now more so than earlier, maybe they're very similar to Grand Prix. I mean, they're the same amount of rounds. You're playing the similar caliber of opponents, and as you go deep, the better players are rising to the top, much like in the GP. So you have tough rounds later in the tournament, and I mean, I think the way that Grand Prix developed over time, kind of focusing less on the Pro Tour and stuff like that, just being more casual, then I think they're pretty much just the same thing now. But maybe a couple years ago, I would have said GPs were harder.
I see. Because you have, 3 GP top 8s is pretty good, but you have 9 STG top 8s and 4 wins. So were you just focusing on the Star City Games Open more, and you didn't really go to GP? So what happened there?
Yeah, I probably have played less GPs than people think that I have. I mean, I would guess somewhere in the 50 ballpark. Yeah, when I first started playing, I was basically chaining Pro Tours, and I never went to Grand Prix, unless they were local. And then I tried to hit a few levels, so I started traveling to more Grand Prix. That became more of a regular thing. And then at some point, I kind of took a break from Magic and then came back to do the Team Metagame Gurus, and that largely had to do solely with the Star City Games thing. So
before you, I'm sorry to interrupt. Before you go on, can you maybe say what the Team Guru thing is, because people might not know what it is?
Oh yeah, sure. So this was kind of the revolution of teams in the SCG space, and I think honestly in Magic, we were the first team to kind of collaborate and wear jerseys and stuff, which a lot of other teams started to adapt. We were called the Metagame Gurus. It was me, Andrew Jessup, Dan Jessup, Jim Davis, and Kevin Jones. The Team Metagame Gurus went on to branch off a few different times after that. Like I went to go work for Wizards of the Coast, and Frank Scarron ended up joining, and Brad. I can't think of his last name for some reason, but Brad ended up joining the team, and yeah, it was a really fun experience, and I think we kind of like paved the way for Star City games like Lotus Box and stuff like that for sure.
Sorry, I interrupted you while you were like continuing with like your story with SCGs and stuff.
So I was primarily just like focused on Star City games for that point. I ended up qualifying for the Players Championship that year, but I left my slot to go work for Wizards of the Coast. And then upon coming back, I just decided that I was gifted gold as leaving Wizards, so I decided I was going to focus on regolding, and I also wanted to, I was a part of Team BCW, so I was definitely focused. I had like a dual kind of focus where I was going to a lot of Grand Prix and going to a lot of Star Cities, and was hoping that most of them just kind of like it wouldn't be like choose one or the other kind of deal.
You were just doing
that's
both.
Basically what I did for a while. Yeah, just playing both for a while, and then eventually I just ended up playing more Star Cities as Grand Prix became more like PTQs.
You said that you even decided to like not attend the Player Championship finals to go for the job, so that like seems that you were like super serious about the job, but like you quit maybe because you wanted to play more. So can you just like maybe talk about that decision, because it just at one hand Player Championship is like a pretty big deal. You decided to like not play it because you wanted to go for that job, but then you like quit it. Was it like maybe that it wasn't what you expected, or like something changed, or like you achieved what you wanted to achieve? Like what happened there?
It was definitely just like a matter of I want a career in game design. I think that's like something, I have a master's degree in accounting. I didn't know what I wanted to do for the larger part of my life. I was always told that like Magic's just a hobby, you can't really do anything like with it. So I kind of, I guess, had that like instilled in me. And eventually I realized that that's just not the case. Like you can do stuff with Magic, and I was really excited at the prospect of working at Wizards of the Coast, because I felt like that could be like a change in my life where that would kind of lead me to what I was meant to do. So it was a tough choice. Like I obviously really wanted to play in the Players Championship, and like I was qualified for the Players Championship that was supposed to take place at the end of this year, so I don't know if that will ever happen. But yeah, like leaving was a tough decision, especially because I had like that insane tournament locked up where it was like pretty positive EV for me. But I mean, if you factor in like money that I made working for Wizards of the Coast, it was still a good monetary decision. And also like I really wanted to gain that experience. And as far as like, coming back to the competitive scene, I wanted to stay at Wizards of the Coast. Ultimately, like I knew going in that it was going to be a year contract.
I see.
And ultimately, like it wasn't renewed or wasn't like, followed up on. And also, I mean, I was excited at the prospect of being gold coming out. Like I was excited about playing Pro Tours again.
Was that a case at that time for anyone who like joined that particular job, that when they leave they get gold?
Yes, that was the case for everyone who did that. Yeah, Tom Ross, I also believe, got that deal.
I had no idea. Is it still the case even until to this day?
I mean, I don't know now with COVID. I have no idea.
There is not even any gold, actually. I forgot that there is no gold.
There's no gold, so
yeah.
I doubt they're giving rival slots. Like, I don't know.
So basically, after the year working there, you kind of came back. But you said that your like ultimate goal is that you want to be a game designer. Did you just maybe think that if like you win a couple more tournaments, that gonna give you the best chance to get the job you wanted, or you just wanted to get a break from working, or like what did you made the decision that you did?
Yeah, I mean, I was still applying to other game design jobs during that time. I still want to go back and reapply to them going forward. But yeah, I had a pretty similar idea to what you were saying. Like, I wanted to increase my tournament like success and therefore maybe look better in the eyes of game design companies. And I think I did that, I think that I've had a pretty relatively successful Magic career at this point. So like, I'm not like, I'm still hungry for it, but I'm not as hungry as I once was, I don't like play a lot of Magic right now just because simply I don't enjoy it not playing like live. So my aspirations right now are like non-existent as far as being in the MPL or whatever. Like I have zero interest. But yeah, I mean, ideally I would like to end up in game design, and that would be kind of the dream for me for sure.
You've mentioned that you applied for a lot of jobs. You even worked as a game designer for a year, and you've been relatively successful Magic player. Because I'm from Czech Republic, and it's like a small country, we don't really have jobs like that. We're not United States or Japan or whatever. I'm kind of curious to know how much it actually matters whether you like won some tournaments or stuff. Is it like important when you're applying for these kind of jobs, or is it just like more of a additional value, but it doesn't really matter that much?
I think it's more of an additional value that doesn't essentially matter that much. Like, I think it translates well that you can play a game well and kind of understand the full like dynamics of it, and just on a competitive level, because for a certain amount of playtesting, like you're trying to make sure that like games aren't broken, right? Like you're trying to make sure it's a fun gameplay experience. And I feel like the most part, players with like a higher caliber of play are going to be able to realize what is and what is not fun when it comes to like competitive play. We've had a great example this past like year of just cards that were really unfun to play with, like Uro and Oko, and the list goes on and on. So yeah, I definitely think that it's an added value, but to me it's a pretty important one. But, you just have to kind of have an open mind with it. You can't really. It's not just about the competitive player. Also, like it's about having the ability to realize, what a more casual player would like. Well.
Yeah. So you said that you want to be a game designer, but like that's relatively like a big term. It can mean a lot of things. What do you like to like focus on? Like because you can be like the guy who just like develops the game from scratch, or you can be like the guy that the game already exists, but you're like making sure that it's fun, as you said. So yeah. What would you like to do ideally if you could choose?
Ideally, I think that. I mean, in an ideal world where I knew how to program and knew how all that stuff, I guess I would create a game from scratch. That's not very realistic. I don't know how to do any of those things. I wish I went to school for it. I mean, I guess you could argue that I could still now, but I really can't stomach that idea. So I would much rather just like work for a game that was already existed and just, kind of get entrenched in that game, and make that game the best possible that it could be for people to enjoy. It's kind of like what I think I get out of wanting to work in game design.
You said that you wish that you studied that, but you at the beginning you said that you actually have master's degree in accounting. Like at that time, did you just like not know that this is where you want to go, and you just like chose it kind of at random, or like why did you choose accounting over maybe programming? If like now you know that it would be maybe a better choice for what you want to do.
In high school, I took a computer programming class, and it did not go particularly well.
I see.
I guess that kind of like scarred me a little bit. And then also like math was my favorite subject, so I had this like information that accounting has to do with math, but it has a lot more to do with just like memorizing rules than it does with math. So around like the 2.5 year mark of my college degree, like I kind of realized that I didn't want to be in this degree, but I also felt pot committed. I felt like I had given up X time to it. I only have half more. Like I might as well just get this degree, even though I may not use it.
I see. Yeah, a lot of people kind of use the same logic, but then you talk to them after like 5 years and they're like, oh, well, it doesn't actually really matter. Maybe I should have quit or something. Do you feel that way?
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. I wish I had like not gotten the degree, like I if I could go back and exchange my debt for the degree, I would snap it off. And I mean, people have said, oh, you're being short-sighted. You don't really mean that. It's so valuable. And like, I just don't think it is in today's age. Like, I think that especially in the United States, like the education system's kind of a scam, like where they just like rope you into this like debt and like you're kind of just roped in for life. And I truly believe that.
Yeah, I kind of believe it as well. Maybe it used to be the case before that, the only path for success was school, but maybe now it's not the case anymore, and you get like the huge debt that is probably not worth it. How much it actually is, because like, you're from America, so it's like everyday thing for you, but for people from Europe, like myself, for example, education is free in my country, so we don't actually know how much do you guys pay for it?
I would say the average semester is probably like between $10,000 and $20,000.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, for state schools, it's probably cheaper, but like if you're going to a public school, like it's like
you have to pay even if you don't finish, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that seems like a lot of people got into trouble because of that. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, and like just as you said, like education's free where you're from. Like it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's only free, like it's not completely free, it's only free under certain circumstances. Like for example, if you're over 26, you have to pay. But if you like follow the system correctly and you don't do like any mistakes and you like make your exams on time, you don't have to pay anything basically.
Okay, I mean that sounds pretty fair.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You said that you don't really have any aspirations for MPL and you're like kind of off it. Are you just like not playing Magic or like maybe even the qualifiers at all, or like what is going on with you right now?
I play very minimal Magic. I don't love playing Arena. I mean, things have gotten a bit better now that they've decided to ban like a bunch of cards, and I definitely feel like a little more closer to Magic. I probably play Arena like 3 times a week, 3-4 times a week. I'm Mythic like this month just by like playing a bunch like randomly, and I think going forward I'm gonna play SCG. So I found out instead of hitting the top 1200, you can just 5-1 one of those SCG tournaments and you qualify for the next month's thing, qualifier or whatever. So I'm just gonna continue trying to do that every month, and hopefully I can keep on qualifying for the tournament. And then if I like the format going into that tournament that month, then maybe I can find the motivation to test for it and play with it, because it's been a real struggle. Like, let me tell you, like just trying to test these tournaments that I just couldn't care less about is just really, really tough.
I want to ask about like things outside of Magic as well. I planned to do that at the beginning, but because we won like GP together, I started talking about that, and then we already like went into Magic, so I just continue with that talk. But besides Magic, you've actually even posted on Twitter bunch of photos that you like, you look like a lot better than I remember. You go to gym, you like run and stuff like that.
Thanks. Yeah.
How did the shift happen? Did like someone told you, or is it because of Corona you don't have that much to do, or like what happened there?
Someone was just like, "Wow, you're really fat. You should do something about that."
That's not what I meant.
I just kind of have always, wanted to lose the weight that I had. I fluctuated with my weight before. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to better my life, like put myself in a position where I would live longer and, have an easier time, like getting a girlfriend and stuff like that. So um, it was a long process. It's been a little over a year. And I've lost 110 pounds.
Wow.
And
how much is that in kilo?
yeah.
I don't actually know. You don't know either?
No idea.
Okay, never mind.
And yeah, I'm hopefully gonna lose like a little bit more. But I feel like I'm like in a good spot now. And as far as like what led me there mentally, I was just really zoned in, like at the beginning of COVID, like right before COVID, like I was, doing well in Magic. I was eating right. I was kind of just really zoned in on like my life and just like kind of wanting to better it in certain aspects. Like, maybe I wasn't focusing on like the game design career at that point, but I was trying to find things that I could focus on and like really just put my all into it. And even after COVID, I just decided, like, you know what, I'm gonna take this time to like just kind of everyone's probably gonna gain some COVID weight. I'm gonna take this time to like come lose the weight. So I have, and
that's great.
I mean, without Magic, it's tough for sure, but I'm hoping that one day Magic tournaments come back so I can go play them.
So what exactly are you doing? You're just like lifting weights and running, or what you're doing? Are you like playing any sports?
No, I wish I was playing sports. I mean, like I like playing sports, but I don't like with COVID. It's really hard to play sports, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I go to the gym like almost every day. I've been trying to run every day now. So like I would ideally like to run a 5K, which is like really hard for me, but I would like to do that. And then I think the majority of it is just eating well. Honestly, that's like probably like 80% of it is just eating well, and I don't eat nearly as bad as I used to. I eat like pretty clean now, so I basically just like follow mostly a ketogenic diet. Like, I try and just keep my carb intake low, and eat lots of protein. And
how about soda? Like, did you used to drink a lot of soda before?
I used to drink, like, I am a Diet Coke like fiend. I like love Diet Coke so much. I still have like a can of Diet Coke a day usually, just because like I literally like it just keeps me sane. But I've cut back. Like I used to have like so much soda. So fortunately for me, I guess I was always addicted to diet soda, so like I wasn't ever addicted to like regular soda that was filled with sugar. But I mean, I'm sure diet soda is just as bad for you.
Well, it doesn't make you like necessarily as fat, but like the things that are in it are like really bad for your body in like other ways, basically. Like you might not get fat, but it's like bad for you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe I'm really trying hard to like cut it out. I just feel like if I did that, then I might just like break.
Mm-hmm.
Like I might just like start eating bad, So I'm like scared.
I mean, I understand. Like I also like eat pretty healthy, but I drink like 1 Red Bull a day, which is like pretty bad for you, but I kind of have to do it. So I understand.
Yeah.
All right. I think I've asked everything I wanted to ask. Thanks for your time, Peter. It was fun. I hope everything goes well.
No problem. It was very fun.
If you guys...
Thank you, Petr.
Say it again. Sorry, I wasn't big.
So thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah. If you guys...
Having me on.
Yeah, English isn't my first language, so sometimes I don't understand. I'm just kidding.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I get it.
If you guys like the video, please click on the like and subscribe button, and bye bye.